Welcome to Meet Utah Artists. We're excited to have you here. Let's get started. Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Miller, and today we're going to be learning about an illustrator named Brooke Smart. She lives in Daybreak here in South Jordan. She could be your neighbor, and she's super talented. She is going to tell us about her sketching and her painting. She's going to show us some of her children's books and talk to us about a mural that she did in Salt Lake. We get to see her cool studio, and then afterwards I'll give you a choice of 2 different art assignments, and it's going to be fun. So get your pencil, paper, and crayons ready for the art assignments.
Hi, I'm Brooke Smart, and I am an illustrator. I started as a child just drawing all the time, and I would just draw and paint, and I made stuff all the time. I do all of my sketching digitally because it is really easy to kind of move things around, to erase things.
Could you show us?
Yeah. Now I have this little boy that I was looking at when I was drawing this little boy. So this is a program on my iPad called Procreate, and it's where I do all of my sketching now, which is funny because I never ever have been a digital person, but this just makes it really easy. So it works just like a pencil, and it actually looks like a pencil. You can use it, you know, like a pencil. If I go to the side like that, then it kind of gives that pencil texture. But if I use the point, then that makes it a really fine line, like a pencil would work. But if I wanted to make, you know, that heart that I've drawn bigger or smaller, then I could just select that. And that's one of the big things with a piece of paper. You can't really make your objects bigger or smaller, and you can't move them around. And sometimes I even do a color sketch, and I'll do that on my iPad as well, just to get an idea of what the colors will look like. For my final work is with watercolor or with a paint called gouache. Here, they're all kind of dry.
So this is kind of like a Crayola set, but fancier, right? They're all dry, you add the water.
It's fancier and messier. So I often will mix watercolor and gouache. So like the skin of this family, all of that is watercolor. And then these blues that you're seeing here, and then this yellow over here, that's gouache. Sometimes I'll even add in a little bit of colored pencil. So this one was for PBS, if you've seen shows on PBS. They did a whole bunch of shows this summer about famous women. So in this piece, I got Queen Elizabeth, which was really fun. This green is watercolor here, but then the parts that are a little bit bolder, like her dress and all of these beads and all of the jewelry and gold, that's all gouache. And then I went in, like her cheeks have a little bit more texture, and that's colored pencil. And so this is kind of a mix of 3 different mediums to make just that one piece. This is for a book. So imagine the book. That's kind of like, yeah, so that's the center. This is for a board book. The first one in the series actually comes out today. I wish I had the real book to show you. So this is the cover of the book, and then the back cover. And so you can see how it will, when it's printed all on one page like that, and then it's folded over. Nice. But these are a little shiny because this is the actual paper that the board book will be printed on.
So you can see the colors accurately.
Yeah. So what you're seeing on the edges here will all be cropped off for the actual book. Wish we had the book to show.
Well, you've got other books too. We can show some of those.
But this was a really personal project that I did of me and my daughter, and then I ended up making it into a book. So I painted us just doing little things every day. But it kind of is like a journal, like a visual journal. If you like to write in a journal, that is great. I do not do well writing in a journal, and so I thought, you know, I like to draw pictures instead, so I might as well draw pictures of our life instead of writing in a journal about our life. I have a website, so it's brooke-smart.com.
Okay. And Instagram, you have a lot of stuff on there too?
So yeah, a lot of people find me on Instagram. I have an agent, so she helps me with all my book projects. So I can show you a few of my projects that I've done.
Sure, yeah. And
Champions of Change, yeah, it's all about Utah women in history. So we have a lot of really cool women in our history here in Utah. So each one of these was a painting that I did, and then they printed them in this book. These people aren't real, but these people are real. And so it's, you know, fiction versus nonfiction. And so this has kind of helped me get some other cool book projects. So I'm doing a book about Abraham Lincoln right now, and then I just finished a book about a woman code breaker from World War I and World War II. And then I'm working on another book about a woman who was a pilot during World War II. So that's kind of a cool part of illustration that I never even knew I was going to get into. So this is a print that I made of the mural that I worked on in Salt Lake. The mural itself is really tall. It's 22 feet high and then 44 feet wide. So picture painting the whole front of your house. That's as tall as the mural is downtown. Yeah. So we had to use a scissor lift to get to the top to paint the top of this mural. So this woman right here is really, really huge if you see it in real life downtown. But the process of working on a mural is a little different because usually I paint really small. You know, this is an actual painting. So the sketching phase is pretty similar, but I have to think, okay, you know, when I'm sketching this out, how big is this person going to actually be? And something really cool about doing a mural is that I get to interact with people that are walking by. You know, usually I work here in my studio every day and I don't talk to anyone. I often do magazines. So this was a cover of a magazine that I did last year. Here's another magazine. It's a children's magazine, and this was all about a woman pirate. Sometimes you can just do book covers. So this was I only did the book cover. I just finished these, and this is a book, one of those books that is about raising teenagers. And then sometimes I do work that is made into other things. So this illustration I did was put on a t-shirt. And that was for International Women's Day. So a lot of my work has to do with women and being strong. I think the best thing is to constantly be drawing. If you have a sketchbook, that's the best thing to do. Just go outside and, you know, draw whoever's walking by, or if you're interested in drawing, you know, spaceships, you know, draw a lot of spaceships. Fill up your sketchbooks, because I think putting in hours and hours and hours of drawing will make you a better artist. The more you draw, the better you become.
Okay guys, I hope you loved learning about Brooke and her awesome art. Now you get your art assignment and you get to pick from two. Okay, so I have two art assignments for you. One is focused on being creative and you just work on your own. And the other one is step by step, where I'm gonna draw with my daughter and then you can draw along with us. But before we start on the two art assignments, I'm gonna teach you a little bit about color choices. All right kids, once you're done with your awesome drawing, then you get to color it. We used crayons today for this assignment. So this is a picture of a bear riding a bicycle, and I used pretty basic colors, kind of expected colors. You might say green grass, a brown bear, but I want you to think outside the box and pick colors just based on colors you like that go together. To pick 5 or 6 colors that you just love and you love how they look together. So here's an example of the same bear, but they chose to use purples and greens and blues and put those together. Here's another example of a different color scheme. You can see how they were very deliberate about choosing which colors they like and go together. So the first assignment you have, all you need is paper and pencil and crayons, and your assignment is to draw what you would do if you were going to make a mural on your bedroom wall. Okay, so pretend like you had this great big empty wall in your bedroom, and you can put on whatever you want. Maybe you love dolphins. It's going to be like a whole underwater scene with water in the ocean. Maybe you just want cool designs. It's just going to be shapes and patterns. It doesn't have to be something realistic. Maybe you love sports. It's going to be a sports hero, and you're going to have balls flying around. Anything you would want to stare at every day, you designed up, fill up the whole page. Maybe it's going to be a nature scene. Maybe it's going to be like a whole bunch of mountains or starry sky. That is your assignment. Get to work. And if you don't want to do the creative assignment, if you want more instruction, then stick around and do the step-by-step, okay? So either creative assignment, go do your mural, or step-by-step assignment and draw with me and stay on the video. Okay, so we're gonna start by drawing a picture kind of like Brooke Smart would draw. We're gonna use kind of her style. So we're gonna start by drawing a kind of a slanted L. Good. Now this girl has 2 closed eyes, so we're just doing 2 little U's for eyes, and keep in mind your nose is going to be right under that. You can add details later if you want. Okay, and then add a tiny L for a nose. And you can choose if you want to do just a smiley face, or if you want to make it a little bit more girly and you want to give her a lips with like just a bump over and a bump under. And with our crayons we can add some rosy cheeks later like how Brooke does. So for this girl's hair, we're going to do 2 U's. One U going this way and the other U going this way. This is part of her hair. Nice. And then we'll do a ear, which is like a backwards C. Just kind of across from the eyes and the nose. Good. And then you can just draw a line down from the hair to the ear. And we're gonna draw 2 lines for her neck, kind of from the middle of her chin line. Draw 1 line here. And then another line, it can be from her ear or just straight down, either way. Good. And we're gonna do a V below her neck because that's her shirt. Awesome. And we're doing the whole body. I should have started saying that. We're doing the whole body, so. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do a bunch of rectangles for our body, and then we'll kind of connect them and smooth them out later. So we're gonna do a rectangle coming out for the top part of her arm, and if you draw it kind of light, then later when you go over it, it'll be smoother, I guess. And then we're gonna do a kind of a skinnier rectangle above that. So this is a dancing girl. We're being inspired off of Brooke Smart, one of her girl gang dancers. And then we're gonna also do a rectangle for her hand, like that. And then you can add a little thumb coming off the side. And then I'm just gonna draw 3 little lines for her fingers. Okay, now her other arm, we're doing another rectangle coming out this way. And then another rectangle coming up. So we kind of skipped the elbows for right now. So rectangle out to the side, rectangle going up. And then we're gonna do another square, or tiny, small rectangle, I should say, not a square, for her hand. Add a thumb and 3 lines for her fingers. Doing awesome. Okay, now we're gonna do kind of a swirly rectangle for her body, where it kind of slopes to the side a bit. Now, if you decide that you felt like drawing a boy today, you didn't do any lips, then you can just kind of do like some crazy hair. You don't even have to do this U for the hair. You could do a straight across line. But I'm gonna do a girl like the one we're modeling after, being inspired by Brooke, and I'm gonna do my hair coming up and over and out to the side. And it kind of comes out over her arm, comes all the way to her back. And she has kind of like a loose strand. Nice. Okay. Now we're gonna do some rectangles for the legs. So we're gonna kind of leave a little space right here, and we're gonna do a rectangle coming down for the top of her leg, and then a second rectangle coming down, maybe a little bit slanted to the side for her bottom of her leg. Actually, I don't think I did that long enough. She needs legs a little bit longer. Portions are important for people. Nice. Now this other leg is kind of coming out to the side, and then her back leg is going behind the other one. So this rectangle is going to start on this side of the leg and then end on the other side like that. So a top rectangle, perfect. And then another rectangle going across to her other leg. Okay. There you go. Okay, and I'm gonna start with kind of a long triangle for her shoes. And then if I want, I can kind of slope them out a little bit more and add sock lines, so I'm gonna kind of make it a little bit more shoe-like. So we're just using basic shapes and then maybe twerking them a little. And then I can add some little shoelace dashes. Some kind of thread lines to make it look like a tennis shoe. Whatever kind of style you want on your shoes is fine. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start connecting these lines that I've done with my arms. I'm going to darken them a little bit, and I'm going to connect them and go over it so that those elbows exist. This armpit's going to connect to the shirt. Can add some curves for her rear. Connect my legs, her knee. Does that make sense? Let's see. Connect. So just kind of go through and follow the lines you have. Add a knee right here, so kind of go this way. So you're tracing the lines you have and adding maybe parts where we left gaps for knees and elbows and stuff. So connect all those rectangles together. Look at this awesome dancing girl you've got going on. And if you want, you can either leave the lines that you have of your rectangles, or you can erase them if you like that look better. And then this fun part, you get to pick what kind of pattern you want for, is she in a jumpsuit? Does she have a belt? Does she have a separate shirt? Does she have a collar? Does she have a necklace? You could do polka dots, or you could do stars.